It's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be alright on the night shift. You found another home. I know you're not alone on the night shift. Gonna be some sweet sounds coming down on the night shift. Some good Commodores for your ass. Very fitting for this episode. Cats was meeting their demise in episode 5, man. I mean, what can I say? First of all, I am your humble and most honorable host, Real. And you know what I'm here to do. Here to talk about that good BMF, Black Mafia Family Series, Season 3, Episode 5, entitled The Battle of Techwood. And this episode is brought to you by that good Douce. No coke. We taking this one to the head tonight. Let's just get down to brass tacks, shall we? So we start off with BMF, the ATL division, suited and booted. Back up in Platinum Palace. Everybody up in there. I mean, T, Meech, Duffy, Rip, Tina, even got my boy Diesel up in there. Javier and Loco up in the joint. Oh yeah, and Stack's was there too. Loco tells Meech, good looking on how quickly he moved that dope. He like, we trust you. We with you. Meech telling me couldn't have done it without his brother T. Loco shows T some respect. It's a good little vibe. Till Stack's come in and ruin it. His presence been irritating all damn season. Got the nerve to point out Remy to Meech, who's also in the club. Of course, Meech go on over to Remy, and as usual gets to setting shit off. You know how Meech do. You know how they do in the A, when they providing that southern hospitality. Throwing them bows. Rabbit out of hat pulling afro tricks. Afro-American, afro thick. Throw them bows. Everybody was up in there wilding. Even Tina ass was popping off, smashing bottles over cats' heads. Tina was throwing up dirty birds. They get out to the parking lot, you know, chilling, doing what you do after a club spot. You know, you socialize outside. They chopping it up with a celebrity of the boxing type. He's showing Meech and T his Rolls Royce. This cat had 15-inch speakers under the seats and some spare gold chains. Shit was crazy. I ain't never seen no shit like that. All of a sudden, shots popped off. When the smoke cleared, Diesel was laying on the ground, shot up. I just want to know how they up in the Platinum Palace after the beef with Greenie. I mean, ain't that Greenie's spot? And how Angel's still working up in there. I digress. Let's keep it moving. So after all the hoopla, you know, after all the shit that just happened, they meet up back at Duffy's spot, you know, the headquarters. Stack's talking about it was Remy that killed Diesel. Talking about they should take him out up in Techwood. Now, Meech seemed to think it's a good idea. T doesn't. Talking about the business they got waiting on them in St. Louis doesn't seem to work out well with the beef they talking about here. Meech like, nah, this family. And this need to be handled right now. Next day, Stacks take him up and through Techwood, scoping it out. A little later, Meech meet back at Duffy's, listening to some rip music. T come in, questioning Stacks' authenticity. Meech like, I'm way ahead of you, little bruh. Got my finger on the pulse of this whole Stacks thing right here. That's why I'm the boss, player. Meech eventually catch up with Angel. She get a hold of a spot where she can, treat Meech to a little private show for a few hours, like it's his birthday. It's a cool little thing, to have a lady do a little something like that for you, show you some love. He's impressed, appreciative. She gives him a little dance routine, not the usual stripper show. She hit him with some old flash dance moves. Some old Fame, I want to live forever moves. Fame, I want to live forever. Light up the sky like a flame. Fame. She was looking like Leroy counterpart up in that piece, just doing her little flash dance. Ends up on his lap, for the happy ending. She tells him she don't like the whole Remy situation. He tells her he'll be fine. Let's get back to the happy ending though. They get on some old H-Town. Oh, give me that sweet love. Somebody rockin', knockin' the boots. That's all I need. It's a good little scene for them two. Later we catch Meech back at the house, chilling with Angel and T. Tina come up in there on her BI. Tells him Stacks ain't shit. Said he been playing him. Said the MKs did the hit on Diesel, not Remy. They like, okay, so it's on. Meech tells Angel to get a message to Remy through one of her strip associates. They switch up plans. Meech meet up with the crew back at Duffy's the next day. Tells him he going to Techwood to talk to Remy himself. See if they can get a temporary pause on their beef. See if they can focus on taking the MKs out before their crews individually and collectively take a loss. The whole crew say they rolling. They ain't letting Meech go down there by himself. And they head down to Techwood. Posse'd up, it's like 8 of them. Not enough to win a gang war, but enough to give you a fair shot if shit go left, Some people might say it depends on the 8. Stacks get the word from this chick who seen him rolling through Techwood from a window. Cats is on the roof. Up in Techwood, bird calls is being made because of BMF presence. Caw-caw, caw-caw. Don't f around. If y'all been in some projects, y'all seen it before. Folk in Techwood start hearing them dirty bird calls and get to scrambling. They know what the f it is. All kinds of cats start coming out of all kinds of corners to meet their known enemy, BMF. It's a loss for Meech and crew if this conversation goes south, or if no conversation happened at all. It's a loss for sure. Remy and Claude come out. Meech tells him that the MK's looking to get at BMF and the Techwood crew tonight. Up in here. On some ambush type shit. Now Remy ain't trying to hear the shit Meech talking about. Meech tell Remy ain't nobody safe if the MKs roll up in here. Not the mamas, not the papas, not the babies for sure. And that they need to come together like the Beatles to defeat their common enemy, the MKs. Remy like, F this, pull the strap out. All the guns get raised at that point. All of a sudden, a special bird call went up. That shit was like, that shit was like, it was like some Black Hawk type shit. All of a sudden, a cat on the roof get popped. Shit was lit from there. The MKs had arrived, deep as f***, with stacks, old b****s. It's a bona fide war happening up in there. Everybody getting laid down. Rip got laid down. Shit, even Lil Milton got laid down. If you lived in Techwood, it was all hands on deck. Shit was looking real bad till Sterl and the PA boys came up in that spot, gave him some aid and as much comfort as they could, got him the f*** up out of there. Now Glock and his man still standing. Stacks right there with him running his mouth. Till Glock shot that ass up. I knew that was coming. Can we get a round of applause for that right there? Sorry, 2 Chainz. They get back to Meech spot, reminiscing on Rip. PA boys and T going back to the D. Meech tell him he's staying. Tells T these cats is family out here, and he gonna stay and ride till the war is won or the ride is over. One of the two. Meanwhile, back in the D, Charles meet up with Sister Riley from the old church and the old church band. Asks her if she and the band could put a little instrumental together for him. You know, he trying to right some wrongs with Lucille. Wrote a song for her. Like to hear it, here go. She likes the idea and agrees. Touches Charles' hand in appreciation of the thought and effort toward his wife. He touches hers back on double time. Innocent enough, but I wouldn't have done it. Especially not out in public, because you know someone gonna see. Someone did see. Cousin Estelle. Now she the wrong one. She already think Lucille should leave Charles's ass and get to giving the good doctor some loving. Dr. Feelgood. Seeing this ain't helped Charles' cause at all. Meanwhile, the pastor at Lucille's church, the new church, is over at her house asking her to be the assistant pastor. Lucille tells her she needs to pray on it, you know, because her situation ain't the most, I guess, Christian-like, based on the eyes of the churchgoers right now. You know, she going through a divorce. Sons of drug dealers, plus she having nasty thoughts of the doctor. You know, she just got some things going on. No deal breakers. Just some things that might be in conflict. Next day, Estelle makes her way over to see Cuz. She like, Lucille, we got to get you up out of here. I done seen Charles having breakfast with another woman at the diner. They was holding hands and everything. She dropped her load off, you know, her little TMZ update, and pieced up out of there. After hearing this news, Lucille at home waiting on Charles. Waiting on Charles like he 10 years old. And out 30 minutes after the streetlights came on. Ready to whoop his ass. She fidgeted with the Louis Slugger. Ready to get her Babe Ruth on. Charles come in. She like, Estelle told me about your little date. He like, hold up. She was about to crack his cranium open. Charles managed to slip in that cassette in the tape deck, grabbed the guitar, started to sing his song. Now the urgency and emotion on Charles's face was prevalent and convincing. Had me in my feelings for a second. I ain't even gonna lie. Best scene of the episode. Russell Hornsby played that scene. Now the singing wasn't the greatest. You know, it wasn't me or nothing. But the point was made. Talked his talk. Lucille bought it. What she do? Hit him with the smoky eyes. Clipped him off a coochie coupon. Redeemable immediately. Took Charles promptly upstairs. Got on that Tina Marie. Hit him with that Portuguese in love. I ain't gonna let you go that easy. You got to say you love me too. Amore, amore portuguese, ay, oh baby, ay, ay. You know you love it. You know you love it. That loving was so good, had Charles looking for more. Shortly after. Don't know if it was as good for Lucille, because before he came in, she was laying up in the bed, y'all saw it, with Dr. Feelgood's card in her hand. Little smirk came over her face. Hand went under the sheets. Looked like she was about to get on some old tweet. Tell you what I did last night. I came home, say, around 2:45. Still so high. Hypnotized in a trance from his body. So buttery brown and tantalizing. I was feeling so good, I had to touch myself. I looked over to the left. Was about to get up under that nightie. You know, dig for a little gold. And here come Charles, just a knocking at the door. Broke Charles off another piece of that Kit Kat bar, though, that's for sure. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Bryant gets released from his cell. You know, for looking like he was going to rob Meech and the pilot. Cop sat Bryant down for a minute. Told him that his car was at the pound, but he had a ride waiting outside for him. He get outside Henrietta crew, waiting to take him up out of there. I mean, like, literally take him up out of there. Henrietta cousin Tyshon in the front driving. Some random cat in the back. They both looking shifty as f***. Tyshon tell Bryant Henrietta waiting on him. Put on some old 60s blaxploitation music. You know, that's the type of shit that's hot in the ride in the 90s. Now, Bryant know it's about to be on. And eventually it does go down. Dude in the back make the attempt to take Bryant out. F***s it all up. I don't know how you f*** that up. And you in full control in the back. Bryant, big ass head, just staring right at you, waiting to be bludgeoned or stabbed the f*** up. I mean, how do you lose? But f*** it up he does. Bryant pieced up out of that car like a damn superhero. Gave new meaning to the term stop, drop, and roll. His big ass rolled up out that car, hit the ground, and got to running in 3 seconds flat. Didn't even look like his knee touched the ground. Hold on. All jokes aside, can we stop for a second and give this man Bryant some goddamn accolades up in here? If you ain't never been a smoker, you might not understand who the real MVP in this whole episode was. It was Bryant. This man took on a cat in the back seat with a knife and a cat in the driver's seat elbowing him, punching him at the same time, cooped up in an old Buick, while the theme song, the Claudine or some shit, played in the background. Made it up out of there without a scratch. But guess what? This man had a Newport in his mouth the whole time. And that motherfucking Newport did not bend, break, or fall, even when his soldier boy Superman did out the car. He stopped, dropped, shut him down, opened up shop, got up. That Newport was still standing like Elton John's ass. I think that deserves a motherfucking round of applause right there. What is the opposite of donkey of the goddamn day? Tyshon and Mr. F*** Up get back to Henrietta warehouse, expecting to see Bryant or hear about his demise, one of the two. She was royally pissed. Tells the cat who was in the back seat she want to fade. I likes Henrietta. I dig Henrietta as a villain, as a person. Now this cat who just f***ed the whole shit up was in a no-win situation. I mean, he had to know some shit was coming to him. He like, I ain't hitting no girl. She start beating his ass with superhero speed type punches. Hauling off on his ass. At some point, he like, oh hell no. He get to laying hands on Henrietta, which is exactly what she wanted. Gets to stabbing his ass up. You see, somebody was supposed to die today. And if it wasn't going to be Bryant, it was going to be somebody else. What a more fitting person. Meanwhile, Jen and Amberson at the precinct piecing shit together. Said to Cat Lenny they went and jacked up last episode. Said he got the ambulance for Twan, who works for this dude named Henri. So now Henrietta name on the case board. They don't know he is a she, but the name is up there nonetheless. Jen and Amberson getting a rap. Jen tells Amberson she needs to talk to her, but not at the job. Like, let's go somewhere more private. They go back to Jen's spot, get a rap, catch up. Now, during this time, Bryant goes down to see his son down at juvie. We knew Lil Kev was about to meet some rough riders. His face was all f***ed up. I mean, shit was hella sad. Shit was hella sad. Tells Bryant the cats who was protecting him are now hurting him. Even went up in him. It's a horrible, horrible scene to watch. It's horrible. Bryant tells him to hold tight. He pieces up out of there, heads down to Jen's house, who is fresh up off telling Amberson about her run-in with Bryant at the ambulance shootout. Also fresh up off a six-pack and some karaoke. He come to the house to tell her about Lil Kevin. Jen and Amberson want to run his ass in. But before any real conversation could even happen, shots ring out into Jen's house. Henrietta and her crew shooting that shit up. She must have been following Bryant. After all is said and done, Amberson is laid out with several bullet holes in her torso. Shit is looking bad for Amberson. She gasping and shit. It's looking bad. They do manage to pop one in Tyshon though before he ride up out of there. Jen get to calling 911. Bryant get the piecing the up out of there. He can't be around. We see him next back at the juvie hospital. Lil Kevin is laid out on an examining bed. Appears he took his own life. Rough stuff right there.